the greatest actor to ever do it. And don't you forget it.
I can tell you where to get it. But as far as me smoking it,
Earth to Guillermo Rigando. Come in, Guillermo Rigando. I actually called him Rigandy Al for years, so maybe I should have went with that. He might have heard me. Sorry for this late recap. I was in travel status, and it was actually a vacation and not work. And yes, the greatest actor of all time is Cary Grant. Not Denzel, not Kevin Spacey, not Bogart, not Brando, not John Wayne, not Sidney Poitier. Cary Grant. If you like old movies, check him out in His Girl Friday. It's a comedy from 1940, and the acting was superb. He and Rosalind Russell, they ad-libbed their lines all throughout the movie, and it went off so smoothly. The amazing thing is that the lines were recited at such a rapid pace, it would be damn near impossible to ad-lib unless you were an all-time great actor, which Cary Grant was. He was the Ray Robinson of acting, the greatest of all time to quite a few people. And don't you forget it. There were some other stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame that should be showing or were showing on the video as I was talking. I just took a quick trip to the Walk of Fame when I was in LA. Also went to Eazy-E's grave too. That clip should be playing now or soon. Love him or hate him, he was a genius, and with a lot of the moves that he made behind the scenes. So, sometimes you want to cross things off your list, and so I always wanted to go to that grave site. I've been to LA numerous times, but didn't take pictures and of places I went. So anyway, I'll be giving some thoughts on Jorge Linares versus Vasily Lomachenko in the next video. I have this doctor that I know who helped me come up with many reasons why the Saul Alvarez test isn't related to tainted meat. The tests, the blood tests, the hair test, and I wanted to get him on to have a chat, and while he's willing to chat with me, he declined to have an online chat with me. So I'm not gonna put him out there. I'm not gonna mention his name or anything like that. Let's just say that the hair sample test can be easily manipulated. Also, you gotta ask questions. Who took the hair sample? When did they actually test it? What testing outlet are they affiliated with? What were their findings? And, well, wait a minute. We don't have to worry about any of that. That's right. Oscar said he passed the test, so that's good enough for us, right? And since the Nevada State Athletic Commission asked Alvarez to do the hair sample, they'll lift the suspension right away, right? Right? Let's talk about Gennady Golovkin's record-tying title defense against Martirosyan. Watching the fight live, I have this to say. And it hurts me to say it because Golovkin is one of my top 5 favorite fighters of all time. I think a Gennady Golovkin fight with, let's say, a Jamal Charlo is even money right now. I wouldn't fight Daniel Jacobs in a rematch if I was him. I think that many of the guys he would have destroyed only a year and a half to 2 years ago. Let's call it 2 years ago. I'm not sure he destroys them, and I don't even know if he beats them. I didn't like what I saw live. And you may ask, well, what the heck did you see? He did what he was supposed to do, even did it better. He got Vanes out of there in a couple of rounds. Well, what I saw was an old man who has 1, maybe 2 good fights left. And that's if he doesn't completely get old overnight. Golovkin will lose if he fights more, if he fights 3 or more times before he hangs it up. And that's no knock against him. He's been spectacular. He dominated a division, stayed undefeated, and has 20 title defenses to go along with a knockout streak of 23 fights in a row before going the distance with Daniel Jacobs, who, by the way, was a cruiserweight on fight night, and who Golovkin still knocked down. Jacobs was unofficially 184 pounds that night. Now, the reason I wouldn't fight Jacobs again is because he cheated in a way. And listen, you may not look at it as the purest form of cheating, but if fighter A is mandated to do something, then fighter B should do it also. And Daniel Jacobs, he wanted to come in huge that night, and he rehydrated. I mean, he rehydrated to more than, to over 20 pounds after the weigh-in. And IBF rules, I like the IBF. IBF rules require a morning weigh-in, a same-day weigh-in after the weigh-in, in which you have to be 10 pounds or less than the 160-pound limit, or whatever weight class. In this case, we're talking about middleweight. So, and Jacob skipped that. Now, that would have been fair if Gennady could skip it, but he couldn't, because if he skipped it, he would have been stripped. Jacobs, no problem. If he would have beaten Golovkin, then he would have received the other belts, but not the IBF, which would have been vacant. And look, Golovkin had to come back that morning and weigh in weigh in at 170 pounds or less. Jacob skipped it. And so that, you can call it finding a loophole or what have you, but if you had to cheat, in my opinion, and I beat you, then I don't need to fight you again. So, the fight last Saturday, it wasn't size or necessarily skill that did Vanes Martirosyan in last Saturday night. It was the inactivity, I believe, and he mentioned it. That's what got him, the inactivity. Listen, you gotta respect Vanes. Here's a guy, he abandoned his fighting style, which I thought in the pre-fight, I thought would give Golovkin fits. But Vanes said fuck it and decided to let it hang out and go to war with the old man. Sorry to my sister who might be listening. That's a curse word. I apologize. I'm not sure why Vanes did that, other than to gain some street cred and to try to shock the world of boxing by dropping and possibly beating the Kazakhstan warrior. Don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it. It failed miserably, but I respect him for going for it, because so many others have talked a certain talk in the pre-fight, and then on fight night they're on their back foot, or they're running, or whatever the case may be. In Vanes' case, nobody gave him a chance, and he tried to prove the world wrong. Much respect. However, I would have been interested to see him mix it up a little bit. Fight like he usually fights, and mix a little with a little mix of toe-to-toe action. And after he staggered Golovkin a bit in the first round, Gennady said, okay, let me end this thing before the Buster Douglas talk starts in rounds 3, 4, and 5. Listen, Golovkin wasn't seeing the jab by Vanes. He wasn't seeing the lead right hand. He wasn't seeing the counter shots. If you go back, Vanes, realistically, and the HBO crew was kind of talking over the action instead of talking about the action. So they didn't comment on a few of those, but Vanes caught him about 3 or 4 times in round 1. And I don't want to hear that he was testing his opponent's power stuff either. That's not what was happening. He's done that in the past, but I don't think it was happening here. Now, yes, Gennady in the past would see what a guy has, and he'd react to it after a couple of rounds. But against the Charlo or a Jacobs in a rematch, or a Deverenchenko, or even a Saul Alvarez, if they allow him to illegally wrap his hands again and allow him not to do random VADA tests within 4 months of the fight, if he lets these guys get off early, it may backfire on him as he approaches 37 years old. For Vanes to stagger Golovkin a bit with those shots in the first round shows me that Golovkin's punch tolerance isn't where it was a year ago. That's important, because if a Charlo or whoever catches him and drops him or stops him, all you hear on the internet, on YouTube, at the water cooler at work. Do people still have water coolers at work, by the way? All you hear is, see, I told you he was a bum. I told you. A bum with 20 title defenses. and a guy, a bum, nobody wanted to fight up until this year. A bum. Okay. Golovkin's ring walk seemed to be like a farewell to boxing walk. I swear, it should be playing right about now. He gave the fans a treat, and his walk, his ring walk, took about 3 minutes or so. He walked around the entire arena before going to the ring. The entire StubHub Center. I want to call it the Home Depot Center. That's what it used to be called. And he gave the fans a treat. I mean, he got close to him, and they were rooting him on. And I've seen him fight live a few times, and he usually comes from somewhere, some odd direction to the ring. It's just not a traditional walk. Sometimes he'll cut through a certain portion of the arena, like he did when he was in Madison Square Garden. So a few times. So that's what he does. Lomachenko does it sometimes. So it's just something. But this one seemed like just like a victory lap, almost a farewell to the fans type of tour. And that's not what it was. He'll fight again, but that's what it felt like. And but he has a lot of fans, and I don't think you can compare him to a Bernard Hopkins. Like, if there were, and it wasn't the sellout that they were expecting, but I think it did a good gate. However, if you look at what I mean is, there were probably more fans in attendance the day before for the Ryan Garcia fight. However, the gate, because the tickets were more expensive than the Ryan Garcia, I think they did a solid gate. But if there were 8,000 fans there, I can tell you that 5,000 of them had Triple G merchandise on, the GGG hats, the T-shirts, the flags, the banners, wristbands. What else did I see? So, the point I'm trying to make is, I don't see people wearing Bernard Hopkins gear when they go to fight. See, if Bernard Hopkins, if you take the odd couple off of his record, that's Felix and Oscar. For those of you who caught that, nobody would know who Bernard Hopkins is. Nobody. If you take the De La Hoya fight, okay, and the Trinidad fight, Felix and Oscar, the guy made his name off of beating 2 welterweights. Nobody knows him. But even with them on, do you see executioner T-shirts and hats when Bernard Hopkins fought? So Golovkin has a fantastic following. You could take the 2 best names off of his resume, and people are going to still know him. I don't know what those 2 names are. You guys can argue that. I see Daniel Jacobs fighting in Brooklyn, and he'll struggle to sell 4,000 seats. I also saw Dave Chappelle, or who we think is Dave Chappelle, some people think he's been replaced. There's a guy on YouTube named Conspiracy Dude, he changed his name to CD Fury. He has these videos he does about people being replaced. Some people may use the word cloned. Yeah, I used to laugh at him too, until I watched a few of his videos, and I don't know if Chappelle's been replaced or not. I didn't get a good shot of Chappelle in the clip that should be playing now, but it was him, or the replacement. I also saw Murat Gassiev. The clip should be playing right about now. And Jesse Vargas. There should be a short clip of him too. I put everything on mute to be below my voice, under my voice, so you're not hearing anything. I decided not to interview anyone while in Las Vegas or in Carson. I used this trip strictly for leisure, so I viewed the fight as a fan and not as part of the media. I might ask a few guys their predictions this weekend, as the Fight Journal will be in the house for Linares versus Lomachenko. Be in New York. I'll do a little prediction thing. Not like the old ones in the past where I really used to break stuff down, but I'll do a prediction. It's a 50-50 fight. What else? Oh, the fight did 1.4 million views, making it the #1 rated cable fight of 2018 so far. Not Wilder Ortiz, not Joshua Parker, not Broner, not Jacobs, not Charlo, not Hurd, but Golovkin. And check it out. This is a fight that was made on what, like 2 weeks' notice? That came in at #1. But I'm not gonna watch this sham of a fight. Bonas has never fought. He's never fought at middleweight. Well, he's actually fought 3 times over the 160-pound in his career. A few times. Yet it was the highest rated cable fight of 2018. And the highest rated premium cable fight since 2016. And do you know who in 2016 was the highest rated premium cable fight? It was Golovkin back then in his fight with Dominic Wade. But Golovkin can't draw viewers, right? Well, let me ask you this. How many of those viewers back in 2016 tuned in to see Dominic Wade? I'll wait. Grab your calculators if you need to. All done? Okay, let's move on. Give me a break. The HBO crew. Yes, the HBO crew was terrible. Another Andre Ward reference by Max Kellerman. I mean, why don't you just ask the guy if you can have his baby, Max? Jeez. Jim Lampley continues to slip downward. His days should be numbered. Great career, Jim, but it's about that time. Roy Jones Jr. Here's a guy. Roy Jones Jr.'s highlight of the night was Well, talking about Roy Jones Jr. What else is new? I mean, it's just time for an overhaul of this commentating crew. Harold Letterman included. In the co-feature, Kaylee Reese gave Cecilia Bridecus a run for her money as she won the second half of the fight. The 97-92 score for Bridecus was off the mark. Harold Letterman, the unofficial HBO scorer, he had it 97-92 also. And I walked up to Harold to ask him about his scorecard, but I tripped over his CNI dog. Didn't get a chance. Reese hurt Bridecus in the 7th round and knocked her down. She also staggered her badly in the 8th. I thought she stole the 9th also, but Harold gave it to Cecilia. And when the scores were read, the crowd booed the result. And during the post-fight interview, Bridecus made a statement that the fight was very close, which was true. And that's that's kind of offsets the 97-92 cards that I mentioned. She admitted being hurt twice. Also true. Then the excuses came. Well, she was heavier. Well, it's hard to get used to American gloves. Well, I didn't have Jonathan Banks with me the whole time. I mean, you had your trainer, Lucia Riker, all the way up until the week of the fight. And then you just fired her. I mean, like, what, a day before the fight, 2 days? I mean, come on. And I'll have to investigate to see exactly what went on there. But you flew Jonathan Banks in, and he did what he could do. I like the instructions he gave in between rounds. You didn't follow them, but... So I researched her comment about the American gloves excuse, and I think during the negotiation, Bridecus negotiated bigger gloves, not to protect her hands, but to protect her from Kaylee Reese's punches. And that may have been prophetic on her part. Lastly, I got some T-shirts and some stickers to give away. A couple different types of T-shirts, and the stickers, they're stickers from the someone else who was there at the arena, Chris Cyborg, some Team Cyborg stickers. So I took a short video of the T-shirts. I forgot to add the stickers, but they're just stickers that say Team Cyborg or something like that. Cyborg Nation or something like that. So let me run that video real quick, and we'll catch you on the next one. Alright, I got 5 T-shirts. I got 3. Look, first 5 people. I got 3 of these right here. It's the Triple G, Golovkin Martirosyan on the front. All of them are XL. And then on the back, it has middleweight, blah, blah, blah. Golovkin, Vanis for Golovkins, WBA, IB, I don't know what, WBC middleweight title. And then Cecilia Braekhus versus Kaylee Reese, and then Ryan Martin, Brady Prescott, so on and so forth. So that's the back. And then I got these kind of sweet right here, the Triple G Golovkin in gold and black letters on the front, and same thing on the back. Triple G Golovkin. It's 1X. It's it seemed to be cut kind of big, but that's good in case you gaining a little weight, or if you're not, maybe after you wash it or what have you, it'll shrink. But just email me. Go to thefightjournal.com, click on About, and then you'll see an email address that you can email me. And first 5 people, you let me know which one you want. And if I don't get 5 people by, I'm going to say Friday, then if I get 3 people or what have you, or 2 people, I'll just send 2 people both style shirts, and then the other one will be left over and we'll figure it out. But there you go.